Race to savings on your next project right now at Menards. From countertops to cabinetry, Menards carries everything you need to turn your kitchen dreams into reality. Renovate your space with new cabinets from Cardell. Ready to install and featuring a modern look. Cardell cabinets give your kitchen a new feel. Right now, get a free sink base with a purchase of any Cardell cabinet system. Good through February 18th. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, it's Kim Komando Today, your daily podcast to keep you up to date with all things digital and beyond. And I'd love to have you be a part of our podcast. You can make an appointment to speak with me. Just head over to komando.com, and on the top right, there's a button that says Email Kim. Fill that out, and that's it. I always like to start with something interesting, and for years, people have been talking about this. What will it look like? What colors will it come in? Will it have a steering wheel? Well, news out this past week that Apple's self-driving car, don't tell anyone, but the secret code name is Titan. Well, it's delayed until the year 2026. That's right. And it's not going to be fully self-driving either. It's going to include some type of steering wheel. But think about this. This is Apple. It's a car. It's a computer. It's going to have subscriptions. You know that. Like maybe a heated steering wheel, $12 a month. BMW is charging $18 a month for heated seats. Heck, if you want to go faster in your Mercedes EV, that they are going to charge you $1,200 for the year to go 1 second faster. Wow. But anyway, so why the delay in Apple coming out with their very own car? I mean, we've been hearing rumors about this for so many years. Well, as it turns out, it's not materials. There's no trouble with the supply chain. It's simply that Apple is having trouble installing Windows. Sometimes I just crack myself up. And on that happy note, you're about to get more tech smarts because every single thing is a tech thing these days. And if you're a new listener, hey, welcome. Glad to have you with us. And if you're already a listener, welcome back. Because Kim Komando Today, Tech Never Stops. We've expanded my successful weekend radio show that's on over 425 top stations across the United States. And just a quick reminder, if you're not already getting Kim Komando Today as a podcast, because a lot of folks are listening to Kim Komando Today, this edition on Friday nights on their radio stations, you can always get it as a podcast. Just search for Komando with a K wherever you get your podcasts. And our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And just a quick reminder, if you ever have a question for me, love for you to call me, but you can also drop me your email. The best place is right through our website. Hit to komando.com, and in the upper right-hand corner, there's a link that says Email Kim, and that's where the magic happens. Every single day, just for you people, I read anything I can about anything that revolves around the tech industry and consumer tech. And this is part of the show where I like to talk about some of the news that you may not be aware of. And we're going to start with a story that sounds like an Agatha Christie murder mystery. 3 deaths. Is there a coincidence? Or is someone just killing all of Vladimir Putin's friends, who all happen to be crypto billionaires? Now, conventional wisdom says to solve a murder mystery, you have to always, yes, follow the money. But these cases start with the money. 3 crypto billionaires, all close to Putin, have died over the last few weeks. The latest, Vakyatslav, I don't know how to pronounce his name, just saying that right now. It's like 8 syllables, but his last name is Taran. He's the 53-year-old chairman of Liberex, a trading company heavily involved in Bitcoin. Well, guess what? His helicopter just fell out of the sky. He supported Ukraine, too. Now, before him, we have 30-year-old Tatian Kullander, I can pronounce his name, founder of the Amber Group, a Hong Kong digital asset company. He died in his sleep. And then right before him, 29-year-old Nikolai Mishegan, founder of a cryptocurrency lending platform, found dead on a Puerto Rican beach. So, who's next? Hey, by the way, if you have any money stored at a crypto exchange, I want you to get it in a physical wallet as soon as you can, so this way you can keep it and control it. All right, moving on to number 2 on our list of 5 things, Amazon's solution to the worker shortage. Do you remember back 10 years ago, there were these fast food workers, and they said, you know what, unless you pay us $15 an hour, we are going to quit. Well, in response, the fast food industry said, well, we have robots and automation. We can place your jobs in a split second. So all the protesters went back to work. So today, Amazon has developed a little yellow AI robot named Sparrow, but it has incredible human-like manual dexterity that can pick up delicate shelf products without crushing them or dropping them. Now, once this system is placed, it's going to replace its human employee counterpart forever. And so what this means is that there's not going to be any more threats, no more strikes, no more sick time, no more paid leave, no more talks of unions with Amazon employees. But I have a question for you. Why does Elon Musk make his Tesla employees have a net electric charge? He doesn't want them to be unionized. All right, number 3 on our list, let's talk about Amazon wants to monitor your sleep. Yes. Amazon has a new product that they're pushing called Halo Rise. It's a ring shape. It's an alarm clock. It has a built-in sleep tracker. But inside this ring are tiny hidden motion sensors that study your movements and all your breathing as you're just sitting there and laying down and you're sleeping. Now, to wake you up, this ring-shaped light begins glowing brighter and brighter and brighter until it becomes just irritating enough that you're like, okay, I'm up already. Just think of it as like the sun coming in through your shades until you're finally like, all right, I got it. I need to get up. Now, back to the sensors. Amazon says, we just want to help you all just get a better night's sleep, and we love you, and monitoring your breathing and movements is the best way to do that. You also get an app so you can see what all your data looks like. So my take on all this is Amazon is already getting so much data about everything that we're doing and what we're buying. I'm going to get a good night's sleep on my own, and I suggest that you do the same. Number 4 on our list, social media's Secret Santa wine scam. Yes, thousands of you are falling for this scam. You get a message on social media. It says, hey, come on, be a good guy or gal, show the spirit of the holiday and send a gift, preferably a bottle of wine to anyone on a list provided by the sender. All right, you're like, okay, bottle of wine, how much does that cost? $2 chuck, maybe something for $10. I mean, certainly you're not going to buy a Grenache Hills for $65 a bottle. Well, if enough people pay it forward, the message promises that you'll soon receive more bottles than you could ever imagine. You're going to be overflowing with wine. All right, the scam's not new, but the wine twist is, and sorry to tell you, you are not going to get free wine. The Better Business Bureau says that no wine will ever arrive because at best it's a pyramid scheme, and at worst it's just a silly scam to get someone free wine, certainly not you. So it's probably wine that comes in a box anyway. You know, that wine's not bad. It's a Card Bordeaux. Get it? Cardboard box Bordeaux. Ooh, you are a tough crowd today. Tough crowd. Finally, there is this. Imagine if this comes to the United States. Time to turn off airplane mode. Okay, let's talk about Europeans. They always have this certain flair, don't they? You can always tell when somebody who dresses here from Europe, and they just have like a sense of style. And what about all the great things that have arrived in the United States from Europe, aside from me, of course? There are lattes, pizzas, Jude Law, yes, obviously. Well, here's a new one for you. It's now you can make phone calls on airplanes while in flight throughout Europe. Fun times. So you know the deal. You get on the plane and the flight attendant comes on and says, hey, you have to power off all your devices, put it in airplane mode or else the plane's going to crash. Which, by the way, I never quite believed all that hype. Anyway, I always thought it was like TSA time to take control. But anyway, let's go back into Europe. The European Commission wants to give passengers the ability, they say, to talk using a 5G internet line. So you can have full conversations. That's right. And listen to full conversations while you are sitting butt cheek to butt cheek with the passenger next to you, all thanks to technology. That's right. So if you're planning any trips to Europe, here's the bottom line. Bring along a great set of noise-canceling headphones from Bose, from Sony, even Apple's, their Headset Max. I have those. Their AirPod Pro Maxes. They're amazing. So that's just some sound advice for you. All right, say goodbye to big tech email providers for good. StartMail keeps your email safe and secure. No reading, scanning, or analyzing of your mail. No ads, no tracking, no profiles. That's right. And because you are listening to Kim Komando today, you always get a deal. You know that. So this deal is you're going to get 40% off your StartMail account today. But you have to go to this address, startmail.com/Kim. Once again, that's startmail.com/Kim. All right, coming up in just a few moments, I'm going to tell you how you can know the secret to having the current traffic conditions months. That's right, months before you even hit the road. Oh, we have a small business tip that you are going to really dig. I'm going to tell you how you can see your competitors' website traffic And then later on, there's a new tool to find those Apple AirTags that may be hiding on your person or in your car or someplace else. And of course, we have all of your phone calls that you never ever want to miss here on Kim Komando Today. How'd you like to hear about how I saved $456 in just 5 minutes? I used an app called Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Can you remember all the free trials and all the other random subscriptions that you've signed up for? Of course you don't, and that's what they're banking on. I love that with Rocket Money, I can see all of my subscriptions in one place. Then if I see something I don't want, I just tap to cancel, and I never have to get on the phone with customer service. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has helped save its members an average of $720 a year, with over 500 million in canceled subscriptions. Stop wasting money on things that you just don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Kim. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. rocketmoney.com/Kim. Hey, our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And just a quick reminder, I read every single email that you send me. So if you have any questions that you'd like me to answer here on the show for you, or in case you want me to answer them as a tip in one of our newsletters, which, by the way, are wonderful, just head over to komando.com, and in the upper right-hand corner, there's a link that says Email Kim. All right, how about we get started with Lou? Hello there, Lou.
Hi, how are you?
Fantastic. So good to hear from you today. What's going on? How can I help you?
Well, I have a networking group, a business networking group. It's a faith-based Christian business networking group. And in Central Florida, we have 4 chapters stretched across the center of the state.
That's awesome.
And thank you. And we're looking for a way to process payments for our members as they catch up on membership fees and other events, et cetera, that we have. And currently we have a program on our website that it costs our members about 3.5% every time they make a payment. And I'm just wondering if there's something else out there that we could utilize that would make it more affordable for them.
So how many members do you have, Lou?
We have around 50 or somewhere between 50 and 60 right now. And we have other members too. They're ministry members, but businesses, that's about where it is.
Well, I remember you sent me an email, and I looked at your website, and
Okay.
I was thinking that, well, I know everyone says that your website needs an overhaul, but I think you kind of need to bring yours up a little bit. But as I was looking at the way that people sign up, and I was thinking that maybe instead of just, part of membership, and I can tell you this because we have the membership offering for the show as well, is that so
Yes.
you can watch the show and you can get the podcast and all that other good stuff, use the message boards. Is that the thing with membership is that it's more than just one payment, right? Is that what you want to do is you need to engage whatever community that you're trying to build, and you're trying to build a faith-based business networking group, correct? Is that
Yes.
it's more than just processing the payments. You know that. I mean, it's how can we? And that's when I was looking at your webpage. I was thinking, how can we take Lou's faith-based networking group with these 4 chapters and maybe push it up a little bit, as well as satisfy the need of making it easier for people to make payments, right?
Okay.
And that's where you want to look at something like membership software solutions. And even though you have 50, and because you only have 50 people right now, once you start getting to 500, then the costs get kind of crazy. But you'll find that cost is probably worth it at that point. And what these programs actually do, and I have a few that I would like you to check out, is that they do all kinds of things. Is that, of course, they're going to take the payments. And let me tell you, 3% is pretty typical right now. Maybe a little bit lower for Visa, maybe 3% for American Express, because they actually charge more. But what these membership groups do is that it gives you other things so that you can define member types. And so it will also handle renewals and expirations automatically. You could have virtual membership cards sent to people. Then you also have mailing lists. And so if you had you're using Constant Contact or MailChimp to email everybody, is that this is all integrated inside this member database, and you have email templates, and you can actually personalize the emails as well to the folks. You could set up event calendars, multi-day conferences. You can have online reservations and online payments. You could have different prices for members and non-members and guests. And so you could track attendance. You can print registration name tags. You could set different price limits. I mean, so when you start looking at just how do I do this payment, what I'm saying is that if we're going to change a module, let's take your business and put it in a place where it's really poised for growth. And you won't have to worry about tracking somebody's email address and it bounces back, and you're like, okay, now what do we do? And then, Joe forgot to pay, but Joe wants to come to the networking group. Joe, I need you $25, so it's like, okay.
Yeah.
And so it kind of takes you out of that weird situation, but the transaction fees are always going to be about 3%, just to let you know.
Okay.
And there may be an additional fee for the transaction, but what I want to do is I want to present to you not just, okay, here's an option for PayPal or whatever, is I'd like you to look at these two sites. One is called clubexpress.com, okay? And,
Club Express, okay.
And the other one's called Member Planet. And, the pricing starts at like $20 a month, $25 a month, and then, but you get this whole package. And it's not to say that you're going to use every single piece that's inside that package. I mean, who's going to do that?
Okay.
But if it can make your life a little bit easier, right, and allow you to have other members, participate in events, and you don't have to worry about all the minutia along the way. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like,
Yes.
that it will free you up, and then it might also encourage new members because you could now have these events and you're not worried about who paid and who didn't pay and who's a guest and who's a non-member, and so what you do is you have whoever is the paying member and have them invite 5 guests, right? Okay, so now you have the 5 guest registration available to you that you can do online. And now you have these 5 people who came to the event that maybe they signed up to become a member that night, but they didn't. And so now they didn't. So now you can send them all a note that says, hi, we enjoyed meeting you, and we think your business would be a great match for all of us. We encourage you to sign up now. And you'll get your business listed on our website within the next 24 hours. So take a look at those, and then what I'd like you to do, Lou, if it's okay with you, is I'd like you to call me back and say, you know what, this looks great, or maybe this is too much, or I need something else. And, because I can tell you from one entrepreneur to the other, I mean, it can be really difficult, but I think you're ready to take that next step and to put your networking into that next level. And maybe in a year you'll call me up and say, hey, Kim, now I got 500 members. What do I do? Which would be so fantastic to hear. Lou, thank you for your call. Take a look, and then do give me a call back and let me know what you think. As we move into 2023 and beyond, just know that memberships are going to be the way to go. That we're going to see a lot of websites, a lot of content creators moving that on social media too. And so what you want to do is always make sure that you have a niche, and you want to plan your content, set up marketing tools, and really look at membership plans. How much can you give away for free? Is there a 70-day free trial? And then how much is it 6 months annually, and good things like that. If you'd like to support us with your membership, we'd love for you to do that. Head over to getkim.com. Once again, that's getkim.com, and that's where you can get our podcasts as a commercial-free podcast, or you can watch us do the show, and you have our interactive chat and all kinds of great stuff like that. Just a few bucks a month, and you do get a 30-day free trial over at getkim.com. All right, if you're planning to go to mom and dad's house or grandma and grandpa's, here's the deal. Whether you're using Apple Maps or Google, there's a secret, is that you can pretty much accurately predict what the traffic is going to be at a particular time at a future date. So you might find that leaving a little bit earlier, a little bit later can shave off a ton of time when you're driving. So what you want to do is either way, select your destination, and then from an option called Leave Now, you can also say set a departure time or arrival date, and then Apple or Google will show you how long the trip is going to take at that future date. Love that option. It works flawlessly. All right, stay right where you are. We have more tips and more phone calls you don't want to miss here on Kim Komando Today. How'd you like to hear about how I saved $456 in just 5 minutes? I used an app called Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Can you remember all the free trials and all the other random subscriptions that you've signed up for? Of course you don't, and that's what they're banking on. I love that with Rocket Money, I can see all of my subscriptions in one place. Then if I see something I don't want, I just tap to cancel, and I never have to get on the phone with customer service. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has helped save its members an average of $720 a year, with over 500 million in canceled subscriptions. Stop wasting money on things that you just don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Kim. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. rocketmoney.com/Kim. Hey, if you're going to be traveling this season, I want to tell you about an insider secret that only the professionals know. But you'll know too because you listen to me, Kim Komando. So here's the deal. So the TV in your hotel room, okay, it holds a lot of hidden tricks aside from the fact that you can always, stream or watch your shows and catch up on things. But what you may not realize is that if you ever forget to pack a wall charger, and if you still have that USB cable on hand, but you don't have that little power outlet, just plug the phone's cable into the TV's USB port, and you can give it a really quick, fast charge. And also take a look at the lamps in the room. Many have charging ports, which is just so incredibly handy. Next on our list is, I don't want you to sign in using your streaming username and password on the room's TV. That's a great way to let the next guest in that room buy content in your account. Well, unless you log out before you check out, which a lot of people, anytime we check out a hotel, we are always in a hurry, so we're likely to forget, which is why number 3 is important. If you connect your laptop or your tablet to your hotel's TV, I want you to make sure that you pack along an HDMI adapter. You can now watch your movie shows, listen to podcasts right there on the hotel TV. Or you can just take the easy route. A lot of hotel rooms will now let you stream from Chromecast or AirPlay-enabled devices. But that hotel room TV is super important because it's just right there. And so here we need a charge, just some things to keep in mind. All right, coming up in just a few moments, how you can see all of your competitors' website traffic so you can see how your website is comparing to theirs. And then later on, there's a new way for Android users to make sure that an Apple AirTag hasn't been slipped on you. And back to the phones we go with Wayne. Hello there, Wayne.
Hi, Kim. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm really great. I'm so happy to hear from you. And how can I help you out?
Thank you very much for taking my call. Yeah, so I'm a big fan. I have been for years. I've got about 150 8mm tapes, all 3 formats, 8mm, high 8, and digital 8. And I want to get them in my Mac. I have a device by Sony that will play them. It's a little VCR. But
Okay,
I want
good.
to use. I don't want to use RCA. I want to use the iLink, and that's my problem. I just don't know how to get it into my Mac.
Okay, so do you have the ability to get the high 8, the 8mm, and the digital 8 tapes? Can you play them? You said it was would you say like a VCR type of gadget?
It's a little Sony device from the 80s or 90s. Has a little screen on it. Works great, believe it or not. I can. It's like it's a little VCR basically.
Well, that's really fantastic. What I was thinking of, I don't know if it's going to work with that because we're going to be mixing old tech with other old tech and then trying to get it in. What I would, because I'm not familiar with this thing from the 80s or 90s. So let me tell you how I would do it. Let me take that out of the picture, okay? Is that there are these gadgets that do HDMI out, and it has AV input. It might work, and you can buy it on Amazon, and then they always give you like a time where you can try it, and if it doesn't work, you can send it back. But it's a media converter, and it goes all across the board. I mean, it will even burn DVDs and CDs if you really wanted to. It's like this all-in-one gadget.
Wow.
And it can save media to SD, USB drives, and then you can connect this right up to your Mac, or you can connect it up to your TV. So maybe that's how you do it. Actually, now that I think about it, is that if you can play this off the VCR, you can connect this up to your TV, and then you can save it onto a memory card, and then you can get that memory card into your Mac.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
So that might be that might actually be a way that you could use that.
Okay.
And if you don't have the camcorder, if for some reason if this doesn't work, and you're like, oh darn it, I knew I shouldn't have thrown away my High 8 camcorder.
Yeah.
Is that there are people who are selling them? Yes, on there are people who are selling them on eBay, and you can also pick them up at Goodwill. And don't forget Goodwill.com. You can shop online there. And so that might be a way. And that's what's happening now is people are taking all these old cameras and even slide projectors, and they're using them to convert everything. And then they pop them right back on eBay to sell them.
Right. That's perfect.
And then they make the money back. So this thing's called a Wolverine Transmedia Converter. Sounds pretty intense, doesn't it? I'm going to post a link to it over inside the Commando community. Now, a bug in my ear tells me that you and I know each other?
Yeah, I worked for a very large computer company in the 80s in Los Angeles. You covered a Phoenix account in aerospace, and I covered one in Long Beach.
Oh, okay. Those are my Honeywell
That's
days.
Right.
Yes.
I covered McDonnell Douglas, or soon to be Boeing. That's right. I remember you well, man. We were
that's
meeting
right.
together, and I remember you well.
Was I nice?
You were.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure. I mean, just want to make sure, like, even then, that was, what I was never a good corporate bunny. Yeah. I made my quota and I did my numbers, but I never was the one that was like, I remember when my manager at Unisys put on my performance review that I dressed like I was going to a cocktail party every day. And then I had a manager, and this is a true story. Then I went to go work for this guy. And then in the performance review with HR, he said, she says my name in an offensive manner. Okay. And I said, what do you mean, dick?
Oh, there you go.
So I think at that point it was time for me to turn in my corporate card and start my own gig, which I did, which turned into the Kim Commando Show, which just goes to show you that here in America, anybody can make their ideas work as long as you work hard at it. And boy, do I still even work hard. It is so wonderful when you can get all of your family's precious memories into the digital age because, for example, you could create a whole YouTube channel. You can share them on Facebook. But also think about some gifts, tangible gifts that you can give somebody with these memories. Like, for example, a digital photo frame. Imagine that. If you gave somebody a digital photo frame and you loaded it up with all of these wonderful video and pictures, it just would be a fabulous legacy gift. You can also set a photo calendar. That's kind of fun if they like calendars. A custom mouse pad, keychains, whatever you can imagine is that now you can take photos and you can put them on there. But what I like to do with older memories is to create an actual coffee table book. And so you put the picture there and then you write a little bit around it. So if it's a picture of grandma and maybe she's in the kitchen and then maybe next to it you put her cheesecake recipe or apple pie recipe, or in the case of my Aunt May, I actually did this with her dandelion wine recipe. Yeah, she used to make wine out of dandelions in New Jersey. Isn't that something? All right, so we all know that having data on your competitor's business can actually help your business. And a lot of this data isn't easy to come by. So let's say that you are wondering how your website compares to a competitor's website. There is some research sites. I'm going to tell you about it. And then I'm going to tell you the downside. There's a website called SimilarWeb, and it comes with just a ton of web traffic tools. And you can sign in and you can see information for free. Of course, they want you to pay. They also have something called a competitive tracker feature that is precisely what you're looking for. It will summarize your competitors' incoming traffic by source. And then there are referral sources, and it does give you a lot of different data points. Now, here's the downside, and this is the reason why I'm bringing it up. is that we have a certain client, I'm not going to say who the client is, who likes to use this similar web and to tell us that, well, the web traffic, Kim Komando and friends, is not as great as it used to be. And we're like, what? It doubled over the last year. And so similar web, it's my theory that the data is not correct. It does give you some information, but with us it was 100% incorrect. But they do want you to pay. So if you get a paid subscription for $167, I don't know if the data that they show other people will be correct, but I'm not going to fall for that because really the data that we can give our clients is the same data that you can give your clients, and you just give whoever it is on the other side access to your whole Google Analytics dashboard, and they see everything that's happening in real time. So if you're in this situation with a small business where somebody's questioning your web traffic, just tell them that you're going to give them access to your Google Analytics and make sure you're going to set that up. Have that running for about 3 to 6 months before you start sharing it out, because it kind of takes time to kind of make sure that all levels out. If you want links to this and more information, of course, we have that over at komando.com. That's KOMANDO.com. And just search for, say, Google Analytics or similar web, and that tip will pop up right for you. All right, still to come, we have more of your phone calls here on Kim Komando today, as well as if you have an Android phone, you're wondering about AirTags, a quick fix, a new solution that you need to be aware of. And I'll tell you all about it, so stay right where you are. How'd you like to hear about how I saved $456 in just 5 minutes? I used an app called Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Can you remember all the free trials and all the other random subscriptions that you've signed up for? Of course you don't, and that's what they're banking on. I love that with Rocket Money, I can see all of my subscriptions in one place. Then if I see something I don't want, I just tap to cancel, and I never have to get on the phone with customer service. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has helped save its members an average of $720 a year, with over 500 million in canceled subscriptions. Stop wasting money on things that you just don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Kim. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. rocketmoney.com/Kim. All right, here's the deal. Over at Komando.com, you now have the chance to win a $500 Amazon gift card. What? Yes, that's right. Head to Komando.com/win to have your chance. Once again, that's Komando.com/win. Now, you will try out one of our newsletters because with the entry, but if you don't like it, well, you can always unsubscribe, but you're not going to want to do that. And then there are other ways where you can get more entries too by subscribing to our podcast. So again, that address is Komando.com/win, Komando.com/win. And good luck. All right, Edwin, glad to have you with us.
Hey, hello, how are you?
I'm great. So happy that you called me today. What's going on and how can I help you out?
Excited to get on. My wife and I love the show. We love all the information you give us, but we need a little help with technology every now and then. I'm looking to get her a camera. And I'm a teacher, and one of the tech person at school mentioned mirrorless, and I wrote it down as MERAILS, like mirrorless, like a brand, and I'm online trying to find a mirrorless
and you're
camera,
like,
and I'm getting
there's no, what is that mirrorless? Where is that?
Did you mean mirrorless? And I'm yelling, I'm like, no. Then I'm looking at my phone, and I saw we get the newsletter. I'm like, duh, just.
Yeah,
So
and it's not, and it's not Miralax either. Okay, it's not that either. All right, so mirrorless. I have a mirrorless camera myself. Is that if you really like to have, if you really are into photography and you don't really want to carry a big bulky DSLR, okay, but you like to have great options and shots, and they work on Wi-Fi, and it's about the size of your hand. Mirrorless is, it's not new. It's been out for about 4 or 5 years, and you can put different lenses on a mirrorless camera as well. And that it's a great alternative. And then the other thing that you can get for your wife is, remember when DSLRs first came out, is they had like those funky cords that you put on your camera, And so it'd be like, like the strap. And so like Amazon, you can buy some really great straps for mirrorless cameras and also DSLRs. What's your budget look like?
Well, we're kind of beginners. Well, we are beginners. So I know I've been pricing some things between like $500-600, and I've seen some things way higher. And maybe later on, if we get good with it, but like for right now, I just saw $500-700 kind of seems the range we were looking at.
And what does she want to take photos of?
Well, she likes nature, and like when the car, she does a lot of her phone. She sees clouds. She likes doing stuff like that. So,
let me tell you about two. Let me tell you about two things. One of the things. What kind of phone does she have?
Well, she has an iPhone.
Okay, you might want to do this. Okay, because since she's already carrying her phone, is that I can point you. You can put different lenses on the back of your iPhone. And so you can get a fisheye, wide angle, panoramic, micro lens, a macro lens, and you can buy a whole set of lenses for like $25. I'm just saying, if that's an option, if that was something that was just a novelty. But if she's really into it, a good mirrorless camera might be, like a Fuji is the one that I have and the one that I selected, might be a little bit out of your budget. In that sense, I want you to take a look at a Panasonic advanced point and shoot camera. Really easy to use. Like you mentioned, you're beginners. The model number, Edwin, is a DMC LX10. Panasonic Lumix DMC LX10. It's about $500. It's a great point and shoot camera. Why don't you look at that? And as well as, I'm going to put a link to that, as well as my Fuji camera inside the Commando community. So in case you want to spend some more money, you can find a link to it directly there. This is a question that comes up on the show a lot. What is the best place to store all my photos? I mean, where should I do it? Okay, let's just start if you're an Apple fan. You're on iPhones and iPads and iMacs and MacBooks and things like that. That's where the easiest place for you to do is just to put them into your whole iCloud account. It works great. Now, if it gets too expensive, you can always use Google Photos because the iOS app really does work with Google Photos. Amazon Prime, you may not know this, but with Amazon Prime, you get free unlimited photo storage as well. You can also store them on your Microsoft OneDrive if you're totally into Windows. I'm not really a fan of putting your photos on Dropbox. I think you're better off using the other services like iCloud, Google Photos, Amazon Prime, or Microsoft OneDrive, because this way, like again, it works in that whole ecosystem, and you're not trying to say, oh, I got to open this app and I got to download this, and that gets to be a total nightmare. You know what I'm talking about. All right, so there's been a lot of news about Apple AirTags and stalkers, and matter of fact, one woman used it to actually she murdered her boyfriend when she found him in the bar with somebody else. Crazy stories. Apple AirTags are so great to keep track of your stuff. I put them in my luggage. I have them on my keychains. I even have an Apple AirTag on my 85-pound golden retriever, Abby. Now, but if someone secretly slips an AirTag into your car purse, it can pose a real danger. Now, if you're on an iPhone, it's going to come up and say, hey, there's an unknown AirTag near you, and it's going to start making some noise. And so Apple actually released an app, and it's in the Google Play Store, called the Tracker Detect. And if you do download that, just know it's going to take 10 minutes for your Android device to find the Apple AirTag, which 10 minutes is a long time. So now there's a new app. It's called AirGuard. It's a third-party app. It lets you know if there's an unrecognized AirTag around you. And if an AirTag has followed you from multiple locations, AirGuard will recognize it as a threat. And then it's going to actually send a notification to your Android phone. So again, the app is called AirGuard. And if you need more information about that, as always, you can always hit our website at Komando.com or 24/7. That's where you can find me hanging out, KOMANDO.com.